Hello my bad bees, it's your girl Erin B and welcome back to my channel. I have something extremely fun planned for today. And before I get into the meat and potatoes of today's video, make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you guys like my content, and also head on over to my Instagram and give me a follow there. So for those of you who already follow me over on Instagram, then you've seen me announce that I will be teaming up with Hobbii Yarns for their Hobbii Love Fest campaign. I'm really excited to be working on this. They very kindly gifted me a bunch of yarn to use for their Hobbii Love Fest campaign, and let's just go ahead and dive into this now. So we all know that the 14th of February is for Valentine's Day and celebrating your loved ones and your partners. So pretty much February is like the month of love, which is why Hobbii has dedicated the 15th of February for Craftentine's Day. But Craftentine's Day is all about celebrating our love for our craft, and being that my full-time job is literally my hobby, which is crochet, I love that Hobbii is taking a very specific day to celebrate creating and just making things with our own hands. So for today's video, I have picked out some very special yarns, and let's just go ahead and show you guys what I picked out and all the beautiful details. And of course, for the month of love, I really wanted to go with a beautiful reds and rosy pink palette. So these are the beautiful yarns that I will be using to create my Hobbii Love Fest challenge. Ooh, this is pretty squishy, guys. So the first yarns that I picked out is their Amigo DK weight yarn. This is a 100% acrylic yarn, and I've actually had my eye on their Amigo yarn for quite a while. It has been on my bucket list, so I'm happy to finally check that off. But like I was saying, this is a number 3 DK weight yarn, and with one skein, you do get 50 grams or 175 meters of yarn. And the suggested hook size for this yarn is a 4 to 5 millimeter crochet hook. So for the project that I have planned later, I think I am going to size up by quite a lot. The next yarn that I picked out is this beautiful Diablo yarn. But this yarn is 30% mohair, 30% nylon, and 40% acrylic. And let me be the first to tell you guys just how lightweight and cloud-like this yarn is. I love the really subtle halo that this yarn has, and you guys know that I've really gotten into using mohair here on my channel. It's kind of like a newfound love of mine, so I'm really excited to dive into this and create something very wispy and drapey. And the last few things that I want to note about this yarn is that it's listed as a number 0 lace weight yarn, but because the added mohair has this really beautiful cloud-like halo to the yarn, I know that I can get away with using a much thicker hook in order to give this top a very nice wispy type of structure. So I just showed you guys this really beautiful vintagey pink rosy shade, and I also chose to go with the same Diablo yarn in a deeper red shade. So I'm going to use all 3 of these yarns to create some type of gorgeous mixture together. So what I'm most excited about for the Hobbii Love Fest challenge is that they're asking us to create something that has structure and is also made in a top-down fashion. Do you guys know where I'm going with this yet? I'm gonna give you guys a second to kind of put it together. All right, I'm just gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna be using my famous top-down raglan pattern from this previous video here to create something new and beautiful. So I'm gonna take that original pattern and kind of tweak it and twist it to make something a little bit more unique, a little bit more sexy and chic and perfect for Craftentine's Day. So I'm gonna do my best to use up all the yarn that they have sent me to create this top-down raglan sweater. And what I'm actually going to be focusing on in this video is more specifically the amount of time that it takes to make something from scratch. And I really want to put a focus on just how many hours goes into one project of mine. So I'm going to be timing myself every time I work on the sweater, and I'm going to calculate out just how long it takes me to create a one-of-a-kind piece by your girl, it's Erin B. And of course, this goes without saying, but I want to give a huge thank you to Hobbii Yarns for working with me on this project. I'm really excited to be using some of your yarns, and I already know that I'm going to be a long-time fan. So thank you guys again, and let's jump into the video. All right, guys, it's time to start working on the raglan top-down sweater. It's currently day one of the project, so I do have my little stopwatch here to record every single time I start and stop this project because, like I said, I really want to keep track of exactly how long it takes me to create a one-of-a-kind handmade piece. So I have my 3 different yarns sitting out in front of me, and I think my technique with this raglan sweater is I'm going to go for a kind of like a striped drapey look. And I think the approach that I'm going to take with this raglan sweater is I'm going to start off with my beautiful pink shade, and this is going to be more of my see-through airy drapey sections. And then I'm going to switch up and double strand my Diablo red mohair with my Amigo. So this is going to be a thicker, more solid section, while this is a little bit more scandalous, sexy, and see-through. So I'm just gonna dive right on into this sweater. You guys know I never really plan out my DIYs too much. I really just like to wing it and kind of just adjust and see if I like the pattern as I go. So I'm just going to start off with my standard slip knot. And also for this video, I'm going to be using my handmade merch resin hooks. So this is going to be my 6.5mm hook. I hope you guys really like these. In case you guys are new to my channel, I am currently in the process of making my own handmade resin crochet hook line. So I'm hoping to have pre-orders for these handmade crochet hook sets available sometime towards the end of February. So yeah, I just figured I would give my handmade crochet hook sets a little debut, a little fun in the sun, and give you guys a gorgeous preview of what I'm working on. I'm really happy with these, and I can't wait for you guys to get some for yourself. But to start off this raglan sweater, I'm pretty much just going to make a starting chain that is long enough to fit around the base of my neck. But I do know that this time around, I want it to be a lot more sucked in and have higher coverage around the neck. So that's what I'm aiming for right now. And now at this point, I'm just going to connect my chain in the round so that way I can start working top down on this sweater. So just go ahead and slip stitch into your very first stitch on your chain. And now at this point, we're gonna have some fun. So in my previous videos, you guys have seen me use a bunch of double crochets and treble crochets to create my raglan sweaters. But I believe for this special sweater, I wanna switch it up, challenge myself a little bit more, and I'm gonna be working with triple treble crochets. Yes, you heard me right, kind of a crazy, super elongated stitch, but that's exactly the type of look that I'm going for. So at this point, now that I'm working in the round, in order to create a triple treble crochet at the start of my row, I need to chain an extra 5 because this is a super long stitch. So go ahead and chain your 5, and this only counts as your turning chain. And now at this point, in order to create my triple treble crochet, I'm going to yarn over 4 times and insert my hook into that same first stitch in the row where we slip stitched. Go ahead and pull up a loop. And from here, I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 again, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and one last time yarn over and pull through 2. So this is what the very start of my row or my chain is looking like. You guys can see I have my chain 5 right there. That does not count as a stitch. And then right here, I have my super elongated triple treble crochet. But anyways, this is what I'm going to be working with for the entire row. So I'm pretty sure maybe on every couple of rows, I will switch up and use a half double crochet. But for this first starting row, we're really just going to go crazy, knock it out of the park, and use some super long, sexy stitches. I don't know if I've ever classified a stitch as sexy before, but I'm gonna give the triple treble crochet that name. I think I've only worked up about 12 stitches so far, but I'm absolutely loving the drape of these triple trebles. I love how see-through and dainty it looks. So when I'm wearing it on my body, it's going to look a little something like this. Sexy, cute, chic, perfect for the month of love. You guys are gonna laugh at me. It's already been 22 minutes and I'm not even done with the first row. That's insane. I've just finished up my very first row with this mohair, and it's working up so gorgeously. This stuff has a lot of halo to it. So even though it is a 0 lace weight yarn, I'd say it's honestly working up a little bit more like a #1 type of yarn. So these are those triple crochets, and at this point I'm going to start flaring out my top. So I've already gone ahead and added on my little stitch markers because these are going to indicate where I need to add my increases for this raglan style top. But in case you guys want to learn how to make your own top down raglan sweater, I already have a video of that up here on my channel, and it's a super in-depth full length tutorial. So if you guys want to go ahead and watch that and just see the technique on how I'm making the sweater, go ahead and click somewhere over here. But I'm just going to use those same techniques, and at my stitch markers I'm just going to go ahead and add some increases. So I think at this point I'm actually going to switch up to some half double crochet rows and then alternate back to my triple crochets. And I'll meet you guys back here in a little bit to show you guys what I've worked on. But I've already gone ahead, started my timer, and let's go ahead and see how much I can get done in about the next hour. All right, I'm just popping on here one last time before I stop to take a break, but I have about 3 rows done on this sweater so far. And when I hold it up to my body, I think at this point, this is a really good part for me to switch up. So I'm thinking at this point, I'm going to stop using my pink Hobbii yarn and switch up to my double strand with the Diablo and the Amigo. So this is what it's gonna look like when I start double stranding it together. I really like the look of just how fuzzy it looks when you have a standard DK weight yarn, acrylic yarn, and then you add in a little touch of halo mohair. So I'm just going to change out yarns right now, and I might even switch up to just working a bunch of rows with the half double crochets. I do want the double stranded part of the sweater to be a lot more dense and not as see-through. So I'm gonna try to figure out a new pattern with some shorter stitches. And then of course, eventually I will switch back to using the more lacy see-through pink yarn. Yeah, I'm just gonna put some more time in on this sweater, and then I'll pop back on here tomorrow to show you guys more progress. Wow, this double strand is working up so gorgeous. Can you guys just see the quality and like the texture that I have here? I'm really glad that I decided to go with an acrylic yarn, double stranded with the 30% mohair. There's just such a beautiful squish and texture to it. And hopefully once I work up some more rows, you guys can really see the fuzz. But I'm also glad that I decided to go pretty much with a mohair yarn throughout the entire sweater, because it's gonna keep that really fluffy drape for me. And I cannot wait to see what this thing looks like when it's completely worked up. And this is honestly what makes me so passionate about the hobby of crochet, is that there's no rules, there's no boundaries. You can just make things up as you go, and it still turns out to be a beautiful, one-of-a-kind wearable piece. So I'm actually really curious what your guys' favorite hobbies are, and what is it that you love the most about the hobby that you've chosen in your life. Like I said, crochet for me is something that cannot be replaced, and there's always something new for me to learn. Okay, so it's been a couple days. I'm sorry for the echo because I am in my bathroom right now, but I just went ahead and tried on the so-called sweater so far, and this is what that raglan style is working up to be. So at this point now, I'm gonna go ahead and spend a little bit of time connecting the underarm parts and just working on my sleeves. And then after my sleeves, I can start working downwards on the body. But I'm really loving just how lightweight and airy these mohair sections are. I love just how lacy and see-through it looks, and it's turning out even better than I expected. So let's continue to add some Valentine's Craftentine's stripes. Hello again, everybody. It's clearly been a few days since I last popped on here, but I have been working on this top on and off for the last few days, and I want to show you guys what I have so far. I'm so blown away actually by what I've worked up with, and this is turning out so gorgeous. This mohair has such a beautiful lacy drape. I couldn't have dreamed up of anything better. So as you guys can see here, I am starting to work now across my chest portion, and probably in that last clip that I showed you guys, I did finally attach my armhole sections. And in the past, when I've worked with this raglan style pattern, I typically like to start with the sleeves and get those done first, and then I like to move on to the body, but I'm trying to change things up just a little bit and change up my process. So I just went ahead and started working on the body portion, and I only have a few more rows done. And believe it or not, so far, this top has taken me 7.5 hours to get to this point. I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I'm using really tiny mohair yarn, but this is the beauty so far. I kind of like the look of this raglan style top so far. It really just looks like a short sleeve cap sleeve top. But like I said, I'm going to continue to work a ton of rows down the body, and then I will add a little bit of like a flare sleeve with this because I really want this Craftentine Day project to have a ton of flair and pizzazz. So now I'm just going to do my best to dedicate the next few hours specifically to working on this top with no interruptions, just crafting and having fun. And I'm just picking up again here with my triple crochets, and now I just get to work in the round. Because I've already connected my armhole sections, there's no longer any more increase areas for that raglan style pattern. I really just get to work one stitch into the top of each stitch and then turn my work and start all over again. And while I'm crocheting here, I just want to tell you a few things about Hobbii.com. So Hobbii is a yarn supplier based out of Denmark, and they actually create all of their products in-house at super affordable prices. They also offer a Hobbii Plus subscription, and when you guys sign up, you receive 3 free Plus patterns every single month. You can earn redeemable points on all of your orders, and you also get a 10% off discount on all regular priced items from their website. And on top of that, on their website, Hobbii also has a ton of free downloadable patterns to help you guys get started with your crafting journey, as well as their Hobbii Bingo app, where you guys have the chance to win free crochet and knitting supplies. So make sure you guys hop on over to Hobbii.com and check out all of these benefits. So it's been a few more days since I last talked to you guys, but I thought I would just do a quick little catch up on what I have so far with this raglan sweater. So I feel like it's been, I want to say like 4 days since the last time I've hopped onto this camera and updated you, but clearly I've gotten a ton more done on this sweater, and I am so proud to say I finally finished up one entire sleeve. So at this point, as you guys can probably tell, I've already started working on my second sleeve, and I've got about this much done so far. So pretty much the very last few steps that I have for the sweater is to just go ahead and match up the same pattern that I have from this sleeve over here onto this one. But this is what the gorgeous mohair is looking like. And can you guys just take a second to appreciate these super elongated triple treble crochets? I'm absolutely dying over the drape of this sweater. I'm really glad that I chose to go with such long stitches because as you guys can see, it adds a super like lacy drapey effect. And that's exactly what I wanted. I really didn't want the sweater to have too much structure. Instead, I kind of wanted it to have a little bit more like easy breezy, free flowing type of look. So what can I tell you guys about this sweater so far? A majority of this pattern was worked up with these super long triple treble crochets, and every now and then again I did decide to throw in a row of half double crochets and then switch back up to these super long triple trebles. And then when it came up to these more dense red sections, like I was telling you guys earlier, I did double strand that Diablo yarn with the Amigo yarn, so these are a lot less see-through. These red sections are definitely a lot more opaque and not see-through at all, so I really like this transition from like sexy lacy to thicker dense sections. But with these red sections, I did just decide to work up plain rows with half double crochets. So I think I did about 4 rows with those red sections, and I really just alternated between the pink yarn and that red yarn, working with these more thicker stripy sections. So that is the basis of the body. Oh my gosh, there's literally just strands of yarn everywhere. Can you guys see the mess that I'm working with? I still have to weave in all of these super long and tedious ends, so we're just going to ignore the little knot that's going on over here on this back side. I have to back up a little bit to show you guys the bottom of this sleeve. But the only other thing I really wanted to note about this first sleeve, it was honestly kind of just trial and error. I really just held the sleeve up to my body to see if it was long enough. And as you guys can see here, my pattern does change a little bit here at the very cuff, just because I didn't want to add too many rows if I was following that pattern. So right here, after I worked those regular 4 rows of the half double crochet, I think I actually went in again with that pink mohair yarn, and I actually just worked up 3 half double crochet rows. And then of course, for the last few finishing touches of the cuff, I switched back to my red double strand for only 2 rows of the half double crochet. So I really like how the pattern is kind of a little bit messy. So here is what she's looking like in all her glory. I did decide to make the body portion full length. That way I could either just leave it on the outside of my pants, or if I'm wearing something cropped, I can tuck this into whatever skirt or pant that I'm wearing, and it gives it a little bit more of that cropped look. And I was just about to pull up my phone to show you guys how long I have been working on the sweater, and then I accidentally hit the reset button.
No, God! No, God, please, no, no!
So I can't show it to you guys anymore, but the last time I checked, I have put in a total of 11 hours and 38 minutes on this raglan sweater, and we're still not done. But one other thing that I wanted to quickly note before I hopped off of the camera is that I tried on this sweater, and so far I really do like how it's fitting on my body. I love the drape and the fit of it and everything, but I kind of felt like this edging here on the collar, or like the very top of the sweater, kind of looks a little bit unfinished. It doesn't really look quite how I want it to look. So I think once I finish up this last sleeve, I am going to go back into the neckline and probably add about 3 or 4 rows again of this double-stranded red section just to the very top of the collar. And let's just go ahead and, you know, stick my hand in there for effect so you guys can see what I'm working with. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna die when you see the final sweater. So this is really like the look I was aiming for. The sleeves are a little bit baggier than I was expecting, but I really like that, honestly. I'm just gonna roll with it. So this is just a quick little preview of what she's going to look like. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and reset my timer and just go ahead and add on any future minutes and hours onto my existing 11 hours and 38 minutes. I'm stalling now. I'm gonna go ahead and start crocheting. I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye.